In the last video, we did a modification to the standard strategy and we moved the stop loss right below the middle of the body of the candle. And what we are going to do now is I'm going to extract all the data with the modified. So I have here an Excel file. You can use an Excel file or a spreadsheet from Google, from online. It's going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to extract the data from the standard strategy and compare the results to see which one performed better on the same period, the same trades, the same take profit, just this slightly modification on the stop loss. So let's do first the modification, and then I'm going to reverse back to standard to also take this. And this is the first, so this is everything we have here. It's unmodified from the previous video. It has been saved here and just remained exactly as it is. So I'm going to extract this risk to reward ratio number. First of all, here I'm going to add some numbers to make sure that we have the same trades. So I'm going to extract the risk to reward ratio, and maybe later we will write some observation if it's needed. I'll always like to leave an observation column in case I need to add something. And maybe later I will modify the whole table if I want to add other stuff, if I want to collect other data. And it's good to have data. Just if you have an idea in the future, you can go back to your data or to your screenshots and you can see faster than watching again on the charts. So let's start. This is 13.22, you see right there. So I'm going to write it here. This is 2.5. Then we have a loss. So it's going to be -1. We see here if the loss is mitigated or not, so it's not. Then here we have 23. We have 13.15, let's say. Let's leave it 0.1. This one, it's a loss. So we have a -1. This one we see here that the market closed below the moving average. So this is not good. So we will move the stop loss from here to here in normal conditions. But in this, with the modified rule, this is a full loss. So we have -1. $42.7. So in here I think I didn't mark this, but I remember this, it was a loss. So I have a -1. And then we enter again and we do a 7.4. So the same with this one, that's 42.7. Before that one we had a loss, so I didn't mark those down. No problem, because I see them. So before this, -1. Then it pays really well. So you got an error here, no problem. -1. And -1. So we had two losses, one after each other. Then it pays really well. 42.7. Another loss here. Then it pays 7.4. Two losses here. We remember this one, that it was mitigation because the market closed below the moving average, so we moved the stop loss 1 point right under here, so it's a little more than 0.5 R that we recover, but I'm not going to do the measurement. I'm just going to put 0.5, and it's better than that in reality, so just to make sure. So it's minus 0.5, and then it's minus 1. Then we have a 2.9. So you see that always I'm writing a little less than what we have here, just to make sure there is not too much added extra. There is nothing extra. So the reality, I want the reality to be better than the backtesting. 2.9 again. 9.9. And I just want to check if there are any losses that I didn't mark. So no, there is nothing until now. This one. 0.7. 0.7. 3.4. Here we have a loss. Minus 1. 19.7. 12.1. 4.5. Here we have a minus 1. Here we have a 0. Have to write this down because when we are going to modify it, maybe it's going to be different. But the signal is still there. 15.6. Closes below. But this is a full loss. So it's a minus 1. 0 again. 3.7. 1.5. So this is the data. Now we are going to take every trade back to standard stop loss. So I'm going to still put that at the low of the candle, but you have to remember in live trading you have to put 1 point below. So that's going to slightly modify the results, but it's not that big. You'll see that if you actually do that, it's not a big difference. So let's put this here, and we have 4.5. So you see that I'm doing 1.3 instead of 1.36. So that should cover, for every trade, that should cover that point, that extra point that you need to add. 4.3. So the minus 1 is still here. Then we have 4.3. 4.8. then it should be a loss. So the loss is still there, -1. Then we have this 4.3, which is becoming 1.8. After this one we have a loss, which is we can mitigate that a little. We can mitigate that. So you enter here, you have a stop loss here, then you move it here. So instead of 1, let's say that here we lose 0.7. So this is going to be minus 0.7. So next, with the extra point here, this is still a win. We did this before, we had a discussion before. So it's 18.4, and the loss, it's not there, so it's just one trade. And this one, it's 18.4. Again, so with a standard stop loss, this one, it's not a loss, it's a 5.4. So this is 0 and this is 5.4. So probably you're seeing that you make less profits with the standard strategy, but it's still profitable and it's safer. So you'll have to decide if you are going to introduce that or not. Here we have one. After that it closes below. You move your stop loss. And this is, you lose, let's say that here you lose around 0.3 instead of 1. So in here we have minus 0.3. Next one, it's -1. And next one, it's 1.5. Next one is the same. Three 3.7. .2 here. $1.9. This is still a loss, -1. And the next one, 5.4. $6.5. $2.4. Then we have a loss, -1. Next, this is still a 0. This is a 4. Here is a -1, a 0, let's make this a 2, 0.7, and we wait for the next signal. So now let's compare those results very quickly. So if I go in this column here, and in any spreadsheet, if you write equal sum, SUM, and then you need to add those brackets, and between the brackets you need to add all the cells, so you just select them and you drag it down. You see here it's from B3 to B32, wherever the cells are, and you hit enter, and you do the same thing for the other. Equal sum, two brackets, put the cursor between those two brackets, and you select the cells. Now let me add let's make this bold because it's the result. So this is an initial result. Only if you modify the stop loss, even if you have, let's count the number of losses. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have one extra loss. Let's say you make a mistake and you get 12 losses. So instead of 173, you'll have I don't know, 160. It's still good. So this is 173 hours. This is 63 hours. So if 1 hour, let's say, is 2% from your account, so if your account, it's $10,000, so you risk 2% per trade, so that's $200. So 1 hour is $200. So in here, if I do this one multiplied by the number of hours, and then I do here equals this one multiplied by the number of hours, so this means that you'll add extra $34,000 to your $10,000. You'll have $44,000, more than $44,000, or a little more than $12,000. It's still profit, okay? It's still profit. It doesn't matter. Okay, if you do this for 6 months and you become a little more confident, maybe you can do 3% from your account, and that would mean $300. So then you see, with the compound effect, you get more than that, more money than that. And if this one it's $1,000 and you risk 3%, well, you go from 1,000 to 6,000 and something. You still profit. It's money made out of nothing. And this is just one asset. So it's just the S&P, but we have other assets that we discussed in this course. So this is an initial backtest with S&P. Next, we are going to backtest another asset to see how it performs and how you might do the rules different if the asset does not perform as well as this one, just to protect yourself and to get some extra profits and some extra trades. So see you in the next video.